Hey, HR friends, welcome back. We're in the 4-3 emotional 6.5 day sequence. We're going to talk about day three. Now, if this is your first time watching in the 4-3 sequence, we do a general overview for the entire week. And you might want to check that out because it also gives you a heads up on how easy it is to read these graphs and gives you the overall basics you would need to know. So when we do these accelerated forecasts, you can stick with us. All right, so let's get into day three here. Day three is right here in this white rectangle. And as always, what we're looking for is we're looking for these polarity moments to get up to that level four. When they get to a level four, our defensive design is going to be agitated and it's going to be noticeable. Now, the longer it holds at a four and the longer it stays above a four, the more likely it is everyone that we share this existence with is about to get agitated. Now, the good news is this. Day three, there are a couple spikes here. Okay. So you can see there's some first person agitation that's going to kick off when this 24-hour segment starts. And you can see at the end, there's some third person agitation. Now, when we look at the combined, we get up to a six in the beginning. We kind of get to the four here in the middle, and then we reach that four at the end. So again, day three, not super difficult here. Maybe a little bit tougher than day two. We had a couple bumps in day two as well. But remember, two, three, and four, pretty smooth until we reach this elevation right here. Okay. So another good day to really focus on eliminating past stress and taking time to make sure that you're not making any additional stress. And then just note when first person and third person are going to be elevated, you definitely don't want to make more stress for yourself because if you fall victim to this pattern, if you let the organized pattern of chaos activate your defensive design, the only thing it does is it creates stress for you and the people around you. And that stress accelerates the aging process and creates future states of disease. Now, this pattern is also trying to stop you from achieving the objective. Okay. And space time reality is super simple to understand. There are frequencies that make our existence possible, and these frequencies are connected to the quadrants of our body. Now, if our defensive design gets in the way and it convinces us that we shouldn't get along with certain teammates, well, whatever teammates you decide not to get along with, that's the part of your body that you're going to feel. And we've got the quadrants listed here. Same thing over here. If your defensive design convinces you that you don't have to balance your routine and leave this world a better place for all the interconnected families, because that's what we are. We're just an interconnected family. Well, then you're going to experience damage in the quadrants connected to these third person perspectives. All right. So when we look at this overall testing sequence, we want to see, well, where have we been? So in day two, we had some elevated testing in the upper left, and that's going to continue into day three. In day two, the upper right was hanging around that 2-3 zone, and that's about what it's going to do here in day three. Same thing here. When we look at what we just did in day two and what's going to happen in day three, there's maybe a little kick up in the left lower at the end. And then same thing with right lower. We're staying pretty consistent here. So the areas that you're probably going to feel the most during this next 24 hours, this is going to be right lower. It's tested heavier. And upper left, that's tested heavier as well. Now let's get into the 24 hours zoomed in. So the zoomed in is really all about these alignments. Alignments are amplified moments in time that make it really easy for us to point out that your choices matter. You see, all the choices matter 24/7. We're being governed by frequencies. If we're out of balance with our teammates or if we're out of balance with our routines, well, then these frequencies do damage to the quadrants of our body. Now, these alignments are just amplified moments. It's when two frequencies come together and it's going to make it super easy for you to notice if your choices are unbalanced or vice versa, if your choices are balanced. Okay, so if your choices are imbalanced, when the time bar is going through this MP alignment right here, that's this one, 6 hours long. This is going to test to see how well you're getting along with your younger teammates. Now, it doesn't matter if the teammates are younger, older, male, or female. You must be able to communicate, cooperate, help alleviate stress, and most importantly, talk about how you're going to change your routines and bring your routines together to leave a collective experience better for every future family. Now, as long as you're doing that, when the time bar goes through this, then don't expect to feel amplified anything down in the lower quadrants of your body. But if you're still acting defensive and if you're unbalanced in your relationships and you're not balancing your routine, well, you're definitely going to feel it down here during this 6 hour period of time. All right, so let's keep moving here. The next one we're going to talk about is this ME. All right. Now, that's this guy right here. This is going to be an hour and a half long. This is going to test the exact same things. Got to get along with those younger teammates, male and female. If you're out of balance, you're going to feel it down here. We got one more to talk about. It's this ME. It's this little guy right here. That's another hour and a half alignment. And this is going to test right lower quadrant, but it's again, this has to do with the younger teammates. So Day 3 here is really checking to see how well you're getting along with the maturing teammates, the ones that maybe don't know their place on the team yet. And maybe you need to help give them some advice, or you need to share some of your experience, or you just need to figure out how to communicate with younger people in ways that don't activate your defensive design. So, pretty big day as far as that goes. And these are pretty strong and pretty long alignments. So, you're definitely going to know how well you're doing here. Again, these are just low hanging fruit, easy places for us to point out. Now you can see that this is just the 24-hour testing sequence. We already went over this above. Now, the only thing we really add down here is these two graphs, and they show where the strongest frequencies are going to sit for this next 24-hour period of time. Now, when you're looking side to side here, it's actually kind of balanced, right? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the right, which means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the left. Now, the imbalance has to do with first person versus third person testing. So, for example, if you get right quadrant pain in this next 24-hour period of time, we can be confident that it's pretty much your routines that are out of balance. Now, that's if it goes on for the entire 24 hours. All right. Same thing down here. If you happen to get left lower quadrant pain for this next 24-hour period for the entire time, we know it's not your routines that's the problem. We know that you're struggling to get along with the younger members of the team. Now, in the other quadrants, the red and the green here, you see how there's overlap? So if you happen to have problems in the upper left or the lower right, you just want to document when you felt it, where you felt it, how long it lasted. You can use our software and know exactly what it is. If it's teammates you need to focus on, or if it's a routine you need to focus on. Now, I say this every time, don't overcomplicate this. Commit to your team, balance your routine. You don't have to worry about any of these graphs. That's how simple this is. All right, let's end this out. So, as always, we end by showing you the rest of the electromagnetics for 2024. We're giving you this pattern months in advance. We want you to be prepared so when this elevates, it doesn't affect you and the people you care about. Now, when we get a bunch of individuals, when we get regions of individuals overcoming this pattern, we can actually start to make a collective effect. That's what Health Reconnected is up to. And to do that, we're trying to empower you to become healthy by eliminating your stress. All right. We'll talk to you in the next 24 hours. Appreciate your time.